Welcome, NEC Hoops fans, to the NEC On the Run podcast. My name is Ron Ratner with the NEC. As always, I'm joined by Ryan Peters and this week's special guest, Tai Strickland from LIU. Sharks coming off a big 2-0 start to NEC play to begin the new year. Tai, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get going here. LIU wins both games. They beat Wagner, go up to Stonehill, get a great road win. You guys played a very difficult non-conference schedule, but now you have these two victories. From your perspective, what were you able to do to turn things around to begin conference play?
Honestly, I really think it started with the non-conference, going through that gauntlet, having played teams like Miami, Rutgers, a really good UMass Lowell team, which we've played pretty recently, even Mount St. Mary's. We've had leads in those games. We've played very well for, I want to say 25, 30 minutes of those games, but we were never able to really put together a full 40 minutes. And, we've kind of just stressed that over the last week and a half, just about getting a full 40 minutes, playing hard, playing consistent, playing defense, and getting out in transition. And finally we're putting it all together. And they always say like the hardest win is the first win. So we got that one win under the belt, and then we got two, and now we just keep pushing.
Yeah, Ty, let's talk about that first win. So that go-ahead three-pointer you hit against Wagner was as clutch as they come, especially after the Seahawks had just taken the lead on the heels of a 33-6 run. You guys are a really young team. You have a ton of freshmen. So did you feel like as one of the veterans you needed to step up and hit that shot against that Wagner zone late?
Absolutely. There was kind of a point where it was pretty stagnant. The ball was kind of moving around the perimeter, not really getting many paint touches. And they kind of made a bit of a mistake. They late closeout, and all I saw was the rim. I stepped into it confident, and as soon as I let it go, I knew I was going to make it. But the next thing in my head was, not that I made the shot, it's get back on defense. They were on a run, so getting that next stop was probably more important than making the shot.
Yeah, and to your credit, you guys held Wagner scoreless in your final three possessions, so that was obviously key.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Tai, you guys probably still trying to figure things out as far as your identity now. Like, what is LIU basketball? What do you feel it is?
It's playing defense full court. We have many guards that play defense, can push, playing in transition, playing fast, getting to the rim, and making an impact. So we all want to be aggressive. We want to be confident. We want to play physical and really set the tone from the start. Sometimes we get off to slow starts, and that really impacts us as the game goes on. But when we come out, we play fast. We set the tone immediately. I don't think there's many teams in the conference that can really play with us when we're on our game.
Yeah, Ty, according to the analytics, you're one of the best on the ball defenders, not just on LIU, but in Northeast Conference. And I feel like you're in a great groove of late. You have 13 steals in your last three games. I'm sure your father has told you he has more than 1,600 career steals in his NBA career, but I'm just curious, what defensive lessons have you taken from your father and applied to yourself on the court that's made you such a fierce defender?
It's funny that you say that, because really it started, I want to say, my sophomore summer in high school. I was playing with Team Breakdown, and we were losing games, kind of like how we were this year, losing games. And when you lose, especially a lot consistently, you start to turn, and everybody's body language can get bad and things like that. And our coach went around the entire locker room. He said, "Where do you want to play in college? Where do you want to play in college?" And I always grew up, I was a Big East guy. So, first thing I said, I want to go to Georgetown. And he looked me dead in my eyes and he said, "You think you can play at Georgetown playing that defense?" And immediately I went back to my dad and I was like, "How do I get better? What do I have to do?" And it's if you want to play defense, you'll be able to play defense. There's no skill to playing defense. It's effort, it's focus, it's attention to details. And for me, that's what gets my offense going. Being locked in on defense, getting stops. I prefer to get a stop over getting the basket, to be honest. But especially on this year on this team, I've had to score a little more. But I've always been really locked in on defense.
Ty, let's turn it around to some of your bucket getting over the weekend. On Saturday, the end of the game against Stonehill, you get 3 layups in the last few minutes. You're slicing and dicing defenders off the dribble, finishing in traffic. Is there somebody that you, maybe besides your dad, that you model your game after?
Absolutely. I've watched Kyrie Irving since I was able to watch him. So, watching him play off the backboard, playing angles off the backboard, I've learned a lot, and especially just my dad teaching us his ability to lay the ball up. Then I can take a little bit from Kyrie, add my own kind of flair to it, and I sit in the gym when I'm bored or kind of in between drills or anything like that, and I'll just sit under the rim and just spin the ball off the backboard, right hand, left hand, and for that play, I don't even know how that went in, but all I saw was the backboard where I wanted it to go, got the right spin, and it went in.
How important is it as somebody like an undersized guard, I would say, to find those angles to be able to get past the trees or over the trees?
It's extremely important. I mean, you look at a guy like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not necessarily a traditionally small guard, but he scores a majority of his points in the paint, and all he plays off of is angles. He's not the most physical guy, strongest guy, but he gets to a spot. If you cut that spot off, he gets to the next spot, and it's all about angles. And it's impressive to watch. And that's another guy that I watch and take things from.
All right, now the most important question is, and I'm sure you've been asked this before, but we haven't asked it. So you and your brother Terrell, who's winning that
Mhm.
one-on-one game? Who's got bragging rights in the Strickland household?
He likes to say himself, but it's me. Always, all the time. So he'll beg to differ, but we know the real truth.
Hey, can your dad still go?
No, 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 no. He stopped. I think I beat him for the first time. I want to say my junior year in high school, and we haven't played one-on-one since.
I packed it in.
Smart man.
That's the real retirement.
Exactly. He let me win one, and after that, he was like, "No, you're not getting a win streak on me."
That's great.
Hey, Ty, I
Yes,
want to
sir.
get your opinion on one of your teammates, Eric Acker. I know you played with a lot of talented guards when you were at Wisconsin, Temple, and Georgia State. But, what does Eric bring to the table? He had a huge weekend, 37 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. What do you like most about his game? And he's really just getting started from a college basketball standpoint.
Absolutely. Honestly, when I see a guy like it reminds me a lot of a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He gets to his spots. There's no extra movements, no extra dribbles. He gets to where he wants to go. He'll rise up for one dribble pull up. He can shoot the three ball. He can finish in the lane. His ceiling. He could be one of the best guards. To be in the NEC in my recent memory, just off of that alone. And it takes me back to, like you said, the guards that I had at Wisconsin. They were fifth-year guys, seniors, and I know the impact that they had on me. So, being able to see that, and it kind of almost reminds me of myself in that situation, and being a part of his journey. It's been amazing. And I just try to stay in his ear, stay confident, and keep shooting. You have the ability to make mistakes. You have the ability to play through mistakes. So, take advantage of this while you still have it.
Ty, last question for you. As we look into week 2 and beyond, what are some of the things LIU has to do to stay atop the standings to keep this momentum rolling?
We have to be even better defensively. You would talk about the on-ball defense, but now it's up to me, especially just because I set the tone on the ball. I have to be better off the ball. I have to be better communicating. Just being a leader of the defense. And they like to make jokes. It's like I'm the anchor of the defense at 6'2". But I take that with a sense of responsibility and making sure everybody's on the same page, making sure everybody's talking and comfortable, knowing where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. It's like playing on a rope, but you got to have chemistry as a team to do that and continuing just to play with each other.
Well, there it goes. Tai Strickland has said it all. LIU off to a 2-0 start. Ty, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us this week, and best of luck moving forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.